What I'm going to be doing this evening is totally different in the sense that I'm not going to be giving advice. I'm going to be educating you, okay? I used to be a lecturer at the university. I've been in IT for over 23 years now. Gradually, I diverted into business. Not something that I choose to, but I happened to take a class of MBA students just to cover them for a day. And a week after, I got a letter saying I have to teach them because they wrote a petition that they don't want the professor teaching them, they want me to teach them. And yet I don't have any MBA. So I have to teach MBA students, that's why I'm not qualified. And these are executive students. I don't know if you know what that means. That means they've been sponsored by Compline, top Compline, so they can choose what they want. So the university thought it was going to be just a one-off. But it happens that when they left, when they graduated and their company were sponsoring more students, they told their colleagues to ask for the Friday to teach them. So I happened to be tied in teaching businesses, different business modules, business environment, and so on. But to be honest with you, what I'm going to show you today is not something I even learned as a lecturer at the university teaching IT and business. And some of the things I'm going to be sharing with you today, I can guarantee you, call your accountant when you leave here, most of them don't know. 80% of what I'm going to be sharing with you. And it's amazing because we believe that accountants should know everything when it comes to money. But that's not true, okay? How many of you have heard about Jenny Store before? Okay, that's good, okay? Basically, as a company, our mission is to teach people how money works, so that they can help themselves to become debt-free and financially independent. How many people love the sound of that? Not everybody, okay? How many people don't love the sound of that? No. How many people don't love the sound of that? Okay, how many people don't just like raising their hands up? Okay, that's okay. Now, how many people know about a guy called Robert Kiyosaki? He's the guy that wrote Rich Dad, Poor Dad, okay? He said the main reason people struggle financially is because they spent years in secondary school but learned nothing about money. And this results to people learning to work for money but never learn how to have money work for them. Okay, how many people have an idea how many hours we spend through primary nursery school to secondary school? Any idea? Over 12,000 hours. And none of that time we have been taught anything about money as a subject. Okay? And that's why we end up exchanging our time for money. How many people work for an organization like NHS? Anybody in the banking industry? Anybody in retail? Okay. Do you have an idea that most of the time we work for about 25, 40 years for this organization, and when you leave, it's done. So you invest 40 years of your life, and nothing return back. You just get paid for that time. Whereas those who own those such organizations can pass their inheritance to their children, but you have nothing. You might think about it that wherever you work, even if you give them 20 years, your son or your daughter don't have the right to go back there and say, because my dad used to work here, I want a job. Face the door. Your dad is finished here. Okay? But we are educating people about their finances and how you manage your time and who you give your time to. Okay? Now, today I'm going to be looking at telling you about our company, telling you about the concept that we teach, and also what is in it for you if you decide to be part of us. Few information to let you know. One, presently we are the fastest growing financial service company in the UK right now. Even the banks cannot compete with our growth. When I talk about growth, I'm talking about growth in expansion, not about capital base. How many of you are aware that the banks are cutting on staff every single month now? Okay, and they're not hiding it. If I announce that they're going to close down some of their branches, and if you work or know anybody that work in the branch, in the bank, whenever somebody leaves, they don't replace that person. If you have a branch where about 10 people were doing the work before somebody leave, 9 people have to still do the same job. Okay? But we are actually taking on people every single week in London alone. Our business model has been running for over 40 years by another company in the US called Primerica. Genestar was founded in 2007. We are regulated by the FCA and also by Ministry of Justice. We have done free financial game plan for family. We've done over 60,000 free financial game plan without charging any money at all. We now have over 16,000 members like myself across the country. Also, we are now the second largest distributor with Vitality. How many people know Vitality? Okay, Vitality is now the second biggest insurance company in the UK, and we believe they are the only insurance company doing the right thing for customers. Okay, and you'll see why we think so. We have claimed over 8 million pounds for clients from the bank, okay, in the last year alone. We've saved people over £1 million on their home insurance, okay? And this is where a lot of people don't know. I was with a pastor. He was paying about £131 a month for his home insurance, 5-bedroom house. Within 10 minutes, we were able to reduce it for him to £49. He's been paying that for over 13 years. Every single year, the home insurance, either he claimed or he didn't claim, it keep going up. And most of us never claimed, but it doesn't matter, it will go up anyway. We show you how to knock price down on those things. We have been able to save people from losing their home. Since our 10 years in existence, we've saved hundreds of people from losing their home to repossession. We've also stopped over dozens of people from committing suicide because of issue about money. Okay? Now, is this problem a global problem or is it a UK problem? It's a global problem. It is, but it is unique to the UK. How many people know which position the UK rank when it comes to Olympics? When it comes to Olympics. US is always at the top, or China. UK is always probably on the third position. But when it comes to consumer debt, in terms of people owing the banks, the UK rank number 1. So if there's any sport at all, think about it, probably the US will beat UK in every sport. But when it comes to consumer debt, the UK, we have a population of about 60 million people compared to the US of over 300 million, but the money people in the UK are owing are more than those of 300 million US. That debt stands about 1.5 trillion with many zeros. In the US, it stands about 1.2. And why is that? One is because there is easy accessibility to credit. Even if one is not financially buoyant to accommodate such credit, the banks still give it out. Okay? Why is the government allowing people to take a credit where you pay about 1,000% APR? That's crazy. Even 24% APR. Do you know how much the bank make on that alone? How could somebody that is managing now pay 500% APR? There's no other place in the world other than the UK. Now, unemployment. How many people think, forget about BRICS exit, okay, because that's something that we can't determine where that's going to end. But take that out of question. How many people think unemployment is going to be an issue in the UK? Okay? Okay, if you're not aware, let me tell you. Banking industry, they are cutting down staff because they are going to replace almost frontline with technology. Okay? Retail are reducing staff because they're going to replace with technology. I'm sure most of you can still self-checkout. Yeah? That's little compared to what is coming. You can go to Amazon now, Amazon store, walk in and walk out without talking to anybody. You can walk in with your credit card to give you access, and you come out with your credit card. Everything you pick from the shelf is automatically deducted once you land onto your trolley from your card. So you don't need anybody to talk to. There are some stores in Sweden, you can go in anytime, 24 hours, without single staff in there, can go in and come out without talking to anybody. That is total replacement of retail. So think about in the UK alone, how many people work in the retail industry? The banks alone are already pushing people to go online to do all their transactions. Okay, that's going to reduce staff. How many people think Uber is a great idea? Uber, yeah? How many people know that Uber is already developing cars to drive themselves without human? Okay, you might think it's scary, but I can tell you, honestly, it's going to be safer than human being driving you. I got into an Uber. I think that was probably Manchester or something. Oh my God, the driver was sleeping. What do you think I should do at that point? Wake him up. I tried, but I wake up. I mean, how could you tell a driver that he's sleeping? But he was sleeping. And the car was going, I don't have to talk. I wake him up a bit, I was just praying, God, just let me get to where I'm going safely. Maybe I won't ever get into a car again. That's what I was thinking. But guess what? When a computer is controlling things, you can be 100% or at least 99% sure that if the program is working perfect, I've been 90 for years, I know, unless there's human error or there's hack, but the car will still be safer in the hands of a computer than a human. Because there won't be tiredness, the computer will not be tired, okay? The computer will be accurate, it will not hit somebody, the computer will not sleep. So that is coming. I'm sure 100% that will work very well. And that major problem that we are facing now, we might not know, but the youngsters are facing this problem, is getting on the property ladder. How many people think the youngsters are facing such problem? A lot of university students living in the university now, it's very difficult to get on the property ladder. Why? Their income cannot match with the property price. Okay? So therefore, people have problem getting on the property ladder. These are not government statistics. This is UK-based. Says 79% of families in the UK have savings less than 10,000, and 56% have less than 1,005, and a third of the UK population do not have a savings. Nothing at all. And this is reality. Now, this is a story, a very sad story, but a lot of people are not aware of this. So this is why we're trying to educate people about this. This is a man, used to be a mechanic. He's a self-employed guy, worked hard. Suddenly, the wife was ill, and he felt he needs to take care of the wife. So he stopped working to cater for the wife. But in the process, they still have to pay bills, they still have to eat, they still have to pay their mortgage and everything. In the process, they mount debts over £130,000 across 23 credit cards. They start getting calls from the creditors. We have to take, calls every single day, threat of taking their mortgage, taking their home. And this man thought the only thing he could do to save the family, because the mortgage was in his own name, is to commit suicide. And in fact, once I commit suicide, well, all my debts are gone. Then the family can have their home and they can be safe. And that's what he did. Regardless of committing suicide, 3 months after, the bank took the house anyway. Now, what are we trying to teach there? When you die, your debts don't die with you. The bank will take their money. Somebody say, well, it's my husband's debt. No, it's also your debt if you're married. It's my wife's debt. No, it's also your debt. The reason is this, it's very simple. If you want to claim somebody's possession, you have to claim their debt as well. Whatever they are owing, you have to claim as well. You can't take one and leave the other one. Okay? So, committing suicide is not a solution. There's always a solution. If you know anybody who is going through crisis or financial issue, we can help to educate them, to teach them how they can come out of debt. Now, these are the topics we're going to be covering today. One is the rule of 72, how to beat the banks, the difference between savings and investments, how to pay off your mortgage quicker without paying additional money. Also, how to protect your biggest assets and why you need a will and trust. 6 topics. I'm going to start with the first one, the rule of 72. How many people have heard about this before? You've heard about the rule of 72. Okay. Now, it's a very simple, it's not general rule. If there's anything you're going to take away from here today, if this is all you take away, you've learned something. The rule of 72 is an old banking principle that's been existing for more than 200 years. It's not Genesis rule. If you Google it, it's there. If you go on YouTube, it's there. But the fact is this, if you don't get this rule working for you, if it's working against you, you can never be wealthy. It's as simple as that. Okay? So you need to get this rule to work for you because the bank uses this to work for them. Then it's like you're playing a game. You know, money is a game, okay? So the banks are on one side, you are on the other side. Okay? Unless you're on the winning side, the banks are winning. Okay? The only way they win is because they get this rule to work in their favor. And we are going to show you how to get this rule to work in your favor. If you do it, you're going to beat the banks. So how does it work? How many people here have thought about how long will it take your money to double in the bank? How many people have ever thought about it? That how long is it going to take my money to double? You've thought about it. So can someone share? Sir, how long did you result? How long is it going to take your money?
10 years.
10 years with the bank?
No, depends on the interest rate.
Okay. Another person want to share? When you work it out, how long is it going to take you? Never stop. Okay. So, do you know what the millionaires do that ordinary people don't do? The millionaires find a way, whatever amount they have, to double it. And to do it as quickly as possible. And one way they don't do it, they don't leave their money in the bank. Because it never doubles in the bank. Okay? So let's see. Let's see how the rule of 72 works. Let's assume, and I've got a gift here. If you're very good in maths, you might think you might get some of this. I've got a book. Yeah. Everything I'm teaching is going to be on this book, but somebody will get the answer right. I'm going to give this book. I'll tell you when I ask the question. Okay? Whoever gets it first, I'll give this book. It's worth £10. You can buy it online, but we've got it here today. Okay. So, if you have a bank account that pays you 3%, and you've got money in there, how long will it take your money to double? So I'm going to show you an example. If we have 10,000 in a bank account, there's no bank account in the UK anyway that pays you 3%. Right? Anybody knows anywhere you get 3%? No. In around 2003, 2004, yes, I was getting about 3%. So let's go back. 2003. At bank rate of 3%, and you put 10,000 in there, it takes 24 years for your money to double. If you understand compound, how many people were taught simple interest in secondary school, or primary school actually? Simple interest. Do you still know the formula? Anybody knows the formula? No, we don't know, isn't it? So if you don't know simple interest, you can't know compound interest anyway. So I'll tell you simple interest. Simple interest is principal times times rate over long rate. I crammed it. In Nigeria, you just have to cram it. You just have to cram it, and it's working. Okay, I can't forget. I had A in maths, but I can't remember compound interest. It's too complex formula. Okay, I can't remember that one. But you don't need to. You don't have to, provided you remember 72. Every single time somebody gives you a rate, and you want to know how long it's going to take your money to double, or how long it's going to take them to double the money they borrowed you, use that interest rate you've been given to divide 72. 3 into 72 is 24. So I know if I put 10,000 into an account, it's going to double in 24 years. If I don't touch it, and the interest rate didn't change, after 24 years again, it doubles again. That's how to work it out. You don't need to know the formula. Just remember 72. So in this case, let me go back again. At 3%, 10,000 there doubles after 24 years. If I don't touch it again and the interest rate remains the same thing, doubles again. If you think it's not true, just find somebody who is good in maths. They'll get it. It's just something you just need to remember. Now, the second question is this. If I put 10,000 again, if I introduce another bank that gives you 6% and I put 10,000 there, how much will my money be here? 80? Yeah. 80. Double. Because you just double the interest rate here, isn't it? And you double that as well. But it's not 80, it's 160. So, you see, do you know Richard Branson? It's not good in maths. Do you know that? It's actually regarded as somebody, he didn't even finish primary school. But he understands money once you put pound sign in front of figure. Suddenly, he can work it out. How does that work? That's exactly what happened here. Even you that you think you're good in maths, you thought we double that should double. But no, because of compound impacts. Take 6 into 72, what happened? The money now doubles every 12 years. It doubles, it's not doubling at a reduced time. Okay? That at the end of 48 years, the money didn't double, it quadrupled times 4. Okay? Now, having this knowledge now, let's go. A bank offers us 12%. If we put 10,000 in there, who can guess how much will it be here? How much will the 10,000 be after 48 years? Sorry? Smart. How do you work that out? Yeah, because when we doubled it here, it was called 4. He thinks he's smart or not? Honestly, you're good in maths. I thought as well. I thought the same thing. I thought it was quadruple. And I said it, 640. But it's not. It's not. Now think about it. We know there's a difference between 3 and 12, but nobody ever thought that that difference is going to be that massive. Okay? Now what's happening? 12 into 72 is 6. Your money now is not doubling every 6 years. You're now doubling your money quicker. That if you have a child and you gave that child when it was born 10,000, when they're 24, it will be worth 160. If you give it back to that child and that child say, no, I'm going to leave it so I can retire, and that child left the money there till when they're 48, they will have 2.5 million. Now, do anybody have any question for me at this stage?
But the money will be worth less after 48 years or after 24 years. The value of the money will be less. Inflation.
Calculate inflation, calculate whatever you want to calculate. Listen, that's exactly what we're going to. But your money, it's worth 2.5 million compared to, calculate inflation on this, after 48 years is worth this. Yeah, you get it? That's why even inflation, provided you get your money working for you, it will surpass inflation. Inflation at the moment is less than 3%. Okay? So, after 48 years, think about it. If you had 10,000 40 years ago, we know even that 10,000 would have been worth probably about maybe 800,000 now. Your investment still work better if you put it into a better investment. The question I expect you guys to be asking me is, where will I get 12%? Where will you get 12%? No bank give you that. That's why it's not the bank. You can't get it from the bank. Investments to get your money growing can never be at the bank. Now, shout to me, those of you who have savings, how much interest rate are you getting? Because you're not even getting 3%. So let me help you. I don't want to sadden you, but there's going to be some sad issue coming up by the time you see what's happening now. How much interest rate are you getting with your savings at the moment with your bank? Anybody? Or nobody has savings? 0.2. Okay, what else? I will tell you, it's between 0.1 and 0.8 with various banks, with different conditions. Okay? I'm not going to mention any bank name. Okay? We all bank with different people. Okay? Let's take an example here. If it's at 1%, how long will it take your money to double? 72 years. If a bank offers you 1% on your savings and you put 10,000 there, it's going to take 72 years for your 10,000 to become 20,000. I'm not sure. Is there anybody under 20 here? No. So no, that means nobody's going to be alive. That's at 1%. If you put your money in the bank, but that's 1%, and yet we're not getting 1%. So let's take half of that. At 0.5, how long will it take your money to double? 144 years. Even some of your kids might not be alive at that time. At 0.25, which some banks are giving, it's going to take 288 years if you leave your money in the bank for it to double. Okay? How many of us are happy with that? Nobody. But why are you leaving your money in the bank then? If you're not happy, why are you leaving? Even most people are not even happy with 3%. So when I ask most people 3%, they say they're not happy. Yet you're getting 0.5. Okay? The next question is this. When we leave, because I'm telling you, I think 97% of the UK population have their money in the bank. It's only 2 to 3% who are millionaires who don't leave their money in the bank. What do you think the bank engage our money with? What do they do with our money? Sorry? They invest it, okay? No, they don't. Investment is big time risk, which the bank don't want to engage much into that. It's risk. They have an easier way. And most of us can see it, but we don't realize what the banks are doing. Even the retailers are involved now. Tesco's, all of them, all the retailers, mention them, they're all involved. That is credit card. About 70% of your money in savings is moved to this side. What happened this side? What's the rate of credit cards? Give me an idea. Where does it start from? 24, 29.9, some crazy ones, 36, 34. Store cards are the ones, they're about from 30 something upwards. So let's take an average. This is where I'm going to ask you a question now, and that's where the quiz comes in. If this doubles at 24%, if I put 10,000 there, how much will it be? Yeah, at 24%. Whoever gets it first, I'll give the book. Your calculator will not help you that much. Okay? Anyone? No idea? Sorry? Who said that?
24%.
Okay. Yeah, at 24%. Sorry? Okay, so who is close now? Okay, let me help you. Use your calculator, okay? Let me show you what happened. From here, it was times 4. Okay? From here, it's times 16. Then from here, 16 times 16 is what? Then multiply that with that figure. Okay? You're close, isn't it? You're close. It's ridiculous money, but that's what the banks, and let me show you, that means your money doubles every 3 years. So when you hear the banks declaring billions, they're turning over your money quicker by borrowing it out on credit cards. It's an easy way. Easy way. Why? People pay very little back on their credit card and they're locking. And I'm going to show you the danger of credit cards, and you're going to see where the banks are making money from. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's the bank's business. But you're going to see how it's your business now. Because if you've got savings in the bank, every time you go to the bank and you see somebody telling you you've got an offer, the company is suggesting you've got money. Let's borrow this guy a credit card so we can steal some of his money. So they offer you credit card at 24%. But it's your money in the savings accounts. They've just borrowed it back to you at 24%. Because you don't use it. If you are locked in at using that credit card and you pay minimum, the minimum they ask you to pay, the banks are happy for you to pay the minimum. The government have said to them they have to tell you you can pay more. But you know you don't read these statements anyway, you don't open them. But they put on your statement now, you can pay more if you don't. These jargons, they know you don't read them. If you continue to pay the minimum for 3 years, you've paid half of your money in the savings account to them in interest. Because every 3 years they double the money they borrow you. Somebody has a credit card of 7,000. Most people, all they know is that they borrowed 7,000. They don't know the interest rate even. They know how much they're paying on the other bit. If you ask anybody, if you have credit card, they are not ask you when are you going to pay off your credit card, you don't have an idea. You don't have a clue. If I ask you how much is the bank going to make from you, you don't know as well. You can calculate it. You can call your bank. If you have a credit card that you've had for 5 years, go to your bank tomorrow or Monday and ask them to print you a statement to show how much total. They'll print it for you. They might charge you £10, they'll print it for you. You'll see how much you've paid them in interest. 7,000 at 29.9%, paying 175 every month. It's going to take this person about 19 years to pay it back. The bank would have made over 40,000. The bank has made an interest of over £33,000 from that person, from a borrowing of 7,000. Look at these two. Similar amounts, but look at what happens because of the rule of 72. Too high interest here. That is not too bad. 5,500, you pay back 7,000. Okay? Most people use credit card on holiday and come back and start paying. Do you have to go on holiday if you go on with borrowing? You don't have to. This is one of the things we teach people. There are some things that you do because other people are doing, and yet it leads you into debt. It's not a smart thing to do. Okay? All right. This is another golden rule that the banks have used. It's psychology. What about credit card? Why is it credit card? If you ask an accountant, credit card meaning that you have the money, it's your credit. But it's not. It's the bank credit. So to you, it's debt. You're in debt. It should be called debt card. Initially, when this was introduced, a lot of people refused taking the card because they don't want that stigma and that negative attachment that they are in debt, they're carrying debt. But once they change it, the same thing, change it to credit card, everybody embrace it. The same thing applies to credit rating. Check your credit rating report if you ever see an asset there. Your assets are not there. It's who you are owing that they are listed. They don't want to know how many people you are owing, how you are paying them back. So it's not credit rating, it's debt rating. It's your debt. But if they do that, you are also not happy. So they change it to credit rating. Then you are happy to do the rating. Every single time you have a credit card, change the name to debt card. Then you know that you have to pay it off quickly. That's owing. This is also how we educate people to calculate. A lot of time when people want to calculate how much they are worth, you check your house value, your car value, and the money you have in bank account. But that's not all. You are worth more than that. It's just that you don't know. Every amount you earn per year, multiply that by the number of years you have left to work. That's your money. It's just you don't have it yet. But you can plan with it. But most of us don't do that. So this is an example. If you earn £25,000 a year, and you still have 40 years left, I don't know if anybody have 40 years left here to work, but average, people used to work 40 years in the UK, but now it's about 55 years, if you know what I mean. If you start working out from 20 now, you have to work technically to 75. How many people know that? Yeah? Is 67, 68 retirement now? It's going to increase. If not this year, next year, it's going to increase. Yeah? How many people think the government have missed it? How many people think it's the government's fault? How many people think it's the government's fault? Pension. It's not. A lot of people depend on pension, and a lot of people think, they're missing out from their pension and everything like that. But it has nothing to do with the government. I checked and I realized that when the pension was put in place, people were living till about 55 many years ago in the UK. That's the average age people live and they die. So they allow people to retire at 50 so that they can take pension for another 5 years. But what happened now? When people retire at 65, they still live till 90. So the problem is you and I, people are no longer dying. So people are taking more money after the pause than less people are putting in. So technically, the government have been advised by analysts, temporarily, the only way to solve the problem temporary solution is to keep allowing people to work a bit longer. And it's gradually, it has to go to 75. And at that stage, you have to look for another solution. But it's not government problem, it's you and I. So if you know and you are confident that the pension will not be here for long, you have to put your own plan in place. Okay? Now Now we teach this principle, and this is it's moral teaching, and also for those who are Christians, it's also biblical as well. Okay, so we teach it because these are things that both billionaires and millionaires do, and we think if you are thinking of becoming one of them, then you have to copy what they do. Okay, the first thing is that this is basic principle that you need to follow in terms of using your money. Your first 10% of your income, you pay it as tithe or you give charity. You have to be a charitable person. You have to be somebody that gives freely. If you want to receive more, you need to cultivate the habit of giving. A lot of us think, I've got this little, I can't afford to give, because if I give, then I don't have again. No, but the more you give, the more you receive. So you have to have the understanding and the principle of giving. That's one. Your second 10% of your income should go to emergency fund. You see, a lot of people don't do this. That's why suddenly the boiler breaks down. It's credit card they go into. They are forced to do that because they've not got any emergency funds. Another 10% goes to long-term investment. This is your pension pot. See, we might be, strong now, healthy, able to work, but we're not going to continue like this forever. It's going to come to a time you want to work, but your body is saying to you, no. That's what it's called retirement. Okay? Okay? All right. So, and the last 70% is all we living expenses. All your living expenses should come into that 70%. Some of you might be saying, even the 100% is not enough. That's one of the reasons we teach multiple sources of income. If you are somebody who only depend on one source of income, you're going to have a problem. Okay? You have to have multiple sources of income. Okay, I've been told I've got 5 minutes left. I have to rush because... So, we also teach the difference between savings and investing. Saving is short term. Investing is long term. If you are investing into property or stock market, you don't expect your money back next year. Property could be down. If you want to sell, you might sell at a loss. The same thing with stock market as well. If you invest, you want to invest for at least 5 years and above. Okay? We give an example here of somebody leaving their money in the bank. You have 10,000 in the bank at 4%, you make 400, deduct tax, 10,320. Now, if you factor inflation in, as the gentleman said earlier, you realize that your money, based on 3.5% inflation, your money is down to 9,958. You've actually lost money by leaving it in the bank. If it's just 1 year, it's not that bad, but if you keep leaving it for many years, your money will depreciate rapidly. We teach people how to boycott the bank and go straight into the global economy yourself. You can trade the stock market without going to the bank. You can buy property without going to the bank. You can boycott the bank, all bank charges. Okay? I'm going to skip this quickly because this is really going deep into the stock market. Okay? I'm going to skip this because of our time, but I'm just showing you an example of how your money could perform if it's in the stock market. Also, look at property there as well, performing at about 12.4%. Stock market, FTSE 250 performing at about 14.5%. And this is taking different period of time, taking about 12 to 10 year period. Your money will work better for you in property and in the stock market compared to leaving your money in the bank. Okay, I'm going to jump this as well. We're just showing an example of people think when your stock market is going up, it's performing better. And when it drops, they think that's the reason why people are losing money. But when stock market drops, provided you don't sell, you've not lost any money. Actually, when it's going down, it's an opportunity to buy for those who understand the market very well. So in this case, actually, investor A performed, but B actually performed better than A. That's the result there of their money. Okay? Sorry, I'm rushing because of time. Investing is a long-term process, and the earlier you start, the better. We show a difference of someone that started investing £100 a month into a fund that yields 6%. By the time they are 65, they've got a fund over 200,000 compared to someone that started at 30, they lost out 130,000 that they would have had. just because they started late. Also, we teach people about taking advantage of your ISA allowance. Someone that took advantage of ISA allowance had over 500,000 just by investing 5,000 every year over a 30-year period, compared to somebody else that did exactly the same thing but didn't take ISA allowance. Okay? Whoever is investing for you, make sure that you want to take your ISA advantage. It's about £15,000 a year tax-free. Now, this is the big deal. This is something that the banks don't like us to teach, but we teach it anyway. Okay? This is how you can pay off your mortgage quicker without adding additional money. How many people know your mortgage? Is it charged daily rate, weekly, or monthly? Daily. So if you are aware that you pay interest daily, why do you wait 30 days before you pay your mortgage? Okay? So we teach this. Look at these two examples. This person paid monthly. This person came to us, we educated this person. Each of them took a mortgage, the same thing, paying 1,000. We taught this person to split the 1,000 into two, pay 500 at the beginning of the month, pay 500 at the middle of the month. Just by doing that, a 25 years mortgage, this person paid off in 20 years and saved over 25% that would have gone to the bank. You might go to the bank on Monday, they will tell you it's not possible because you can never set up two direct debits. Speak to us, we'll sit down with you, depending on which bank we will tell you exactly how to do it. Now, the question is this: what's your biggest asset? Now, who think is A? If you've got a limousine, if you've got a Ferrari, okay, because it's over 300,000. And which people, so if it's A, let's see the hands. No, B. Which people think is your property that is your biggest asset? Nobody has got property here? Okay, what about if you think it's your family? C. Oh, most people think it's family. What about D? Who thinks it's something else? Maybe it's your girlfriend. Okay, so what is your time? You've only got 24 hours. I have about 300 hours. You have 24 hours. How did I get 300 hours? I leverage my time. I have people working in team with me. I'm not there. They are not here, they're doing something else. So I'm leveraging on my time. So my time could be. But listen, if you think it's family, if you are from northern part of Nigeria, where the more children you have, the more you can take them to the farm to help you, then family is your biggest asset. Not in the UK. Even your kids, you can't even get them to work, to wash plates. So, gentleman is laughing. You know, in the UK, how could you take your children to the farm? You can't even get them to wash the dishes. So therefore, in the UK, it's not. But there is a situation. If you've got children who are musicians or footballers, then your family might be your biggest asset. Okay, it sells there. Okay? But what we are trying to educate you is that your biggest asset, actually, reality, is you. Remember when we showed the slide I showed earlier, talking about your earnings that you've not earned yet. Okay, if you calculate that along with your assets, you worth much more than your property. Okay? So look at this, for instance, your car could be 15,000, your house could be 280,000, but your future income could be over 2 million. That's why it's you that you are worth more. Okay? All right, I think my time is up. But I'm going to end with this. Let me just see how many slides I've got left. Okay, just 2 slides, quickly. Now, this is how life really works, okay? When I saw this presentation the first time, this is my favorite one. And the reason is this. If you have young family, or wherever you are, depending on, forget about your age. If you have young children, or you have high debt, or you have mortgage, you are in this category. When you're in this category, this is where you need the highest form of protection to protect your family. Why? Because you're just building wealth. Most of us, through the bank, we take life insurance. We have never been taught that we need to protect our life insurance also with an investment. Life insurance is not an investment portfolio. It is protection. You need to invest for your future, protect yourself by having an investment. The banks never tell us that. But sometimes they want us to do our life insurance continuously until we die. Totally wrong. because of my time, I won't be able to explain this, but if you book an appointment with us, we'll sit down with you and explain how you can really protect yourself and your family adequately. The last one is will and trust. I'm not going to ask show hands, because I can see there's a lot of Africans and Caribbean here. I want to tell African man like me about will, especially if it comes from my wife, I think she wants to kill me. But guys, forget about back home. Back home, if you don't have will, family fight over your property. In the UK, it doesn't happen. You're just giving access to the queen. All right? There are programs on telly called Hair Hunters. They go about making money just because people fail to do a will. It costs you nothing. If you've got your husband next to you, if you don't sort out your will, you need to sort it out. Okay? Not only that, we teach people about trust. How you can protect your property. How many people know about inheritance tax? Okay, how many people know what percentage it is? It varies, it depends on your house price, but it's about 40% once it's going over 300,000. How many people think it's optional or it's compulsory? If it's compulsory, let's see your hands up. Okay, if it's optional, what about things? It is optional, it is not compulsory. Millionaires don't pay inheritance tax, it's ordinary people that pay. We'll teach you how to do it legally. Legally, millionaires don't pay, MPs don't pay, they know what to do, the system is there, it's up to you to learn the system to do the right thing. Okay? Now, a quick survey. Out of 100 people working to age 65, 1 is wealthy, 4 are financially independent, 41 are still working, 54 are dead broke. We see a lot of them stocking share in Tesco's. They don't want to do it, but they just have to do it because their finance is not in order. The question to you as you're sitting down there, where will you be when you're 67 or 65? Okay? What we do is we offer free financial game plan to family. We do not charge you anything. We sit down with you, go through all your finances, help you to sort it out, where we can save you money, where we can direct you, where we can put all the things in place for you, both your mortgage, will and trust. We do everything for you. How do we do that? We do a financial game plan for you where we look into everything. Your life insurance. A lot of people, including accountants, chartered accountants, I've sat down with them, they've got rubbish life insurance because nobody understands how to read it. We help people to put it in place. Look at your mortgage and see whether you've got the right mortgage. If you're in debt, we help you to teach you how to get out of debt. We help you to claim money back from the bank, PPI, prepackaged bank account. We process it for you without anybody giving you rubbish calls. We help into investments to property and fund managers. We help you with your pension planning, will and trust, commercial insurance. We do all of this for you without charging you anything. Basically, what I'm looking for is people who are interested in us training you to do this for families and you get paid. Okay? You just have to qualify for 2 things. You have to be over 18 and don't have any criminal record. See me after 9. We have a stand outside. I'm running out of time. I've taken so much time. Sorry, guys. Thank you very much. God bless.